What's up, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here, back with all the news after week number 2 of our Tennessee Titans franchise, where the Titans picked up the first loss of the season to the Cleveland Browns. I'm definitely a little concerned after that game because the Cleveland Browns was one of the more winnable games on our schedule this season, and our offense kind of played as expected. You know, we didn't really do a whole lot, but we're not really expecting our offense to be great this season. Our defense, on the other hand, struggled greatly, allowing over 500 total yards to the Cleveland Browns offense, which is not one of the better offenses in the NFL. It definitely has me concerned as we move forward into the season. Like, next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts and Andrew Luck. Things are not about to get any easier for this Titans team, and if we don't get it together soon, we are going to be in for a very long season. Moving forward, game prep, I already went ahead and got this out of the way. Again, I'm going to be doing this off camera because you have to do the in-game drills to get any kind of XP. And once again, I just focused on Marcus Mariota. That's pretty much our main concern moving forward. You know, this is going to be a tough year for the Titans. We're probably going to end up getting a top 10 pick if I were to guess. So developing our quarterback first and foremost definitely seems like the biggest point of emphasis for me this season. We can go ahead and upgrade xxSnEaKyPxx. Let's do this. Maybe we just need to focus on his carrying. I think I said this last time. I do not want him fumbling the ball. And we're just going to have to continue to save up points until we get his carrying at least above 90, where I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. In terms of Mariota, let's work on his short throw accuracy, upgrade that a single point, and then we can move forward. I'm just going to save up points for everybody else right now. Now, the big thing that we have in this week is we can officially scout some players now. I have been waiting for this, guys. All right, again, we picked the Titans for a reason. They're a team that needed to be rebuilt, and we are going to be doing this mostly through the draft. This is where we are going to find the future of the Tennessee Titans, or whichever team we become when we relocate. So this is where it all matters, and the scouting system is a whole lot different than it was last year, and it's a lot better. You can scout their three best traits, and then at the end of the year, it'll give you their draft combine results, which is huge. This is perfect for finding steals later in the draft, and once you start scouting a player, your scouts will actually tell you where their talent ranks through the draft. So you can scout a first-round guy, but if his talent's not there, they're going to be like, this is actually a third-round talent. And it works for other teams as well, as far as I know, meaning you never quite know when you need to reach for a player you want. One thing I've learned throughout playing Madden games is if there's a guy on your radar, make sure you get him. Don't be afraid to draft early to pick up this player. If you think he's going to contribute to your team, make sure you get him on your team. I've made a mistake before where a guy wasn't projected to go until the 5th round, and I was like, well, I'll wait till the 5th round to get him. And then somebody took him in the 4th round. You have to get your players when you want them. So the number 1 overall pick right now, projection-wise, is Curtis Harden, a 6'4" wide receiver from UCLA who fits in a West Coast offense. I need offensive players. You know, we have Marcus Mariota. We just spent the number 2 pick on a quarterback, and we need to find him some solid weapons to work with. That said, my main concern is defense. I am a defensive-minded guy. I want to focus on defense. I want to have the best defense in the NFL. I want other teams to fear our defense. And so that is what my focus is going to be on right now. We already have Dorial Green-Beckham, a guy that we can kind of develop at the wide receiver spot. We have xxSnEaKyPxx, a guy that we can kind of develop at the running back spot. So even though we have some, holes along the offense, we need to find some more playmakers there. I want to focus on defense to get things going. So Lavon Boyett is the number 1 cornerback in the draft right now based on projections. Now, again, anything can change, but he's out of USC, so this is something to keep an eye on. 5'11", he's 21 years old, type man-to-man cornerback, which is definitely what I prefer. We need better man coverage right now. I will say that for sure. And if his man coverage right now, again, it shows you the top 3 skills here. So if his number 1 skill is man coverage and it's only a B, and this guy is projected to go in the 1st round, I'm starting to think that, yeah, as you can see at the top right now, or top middle, I guess, there's that little red diamond. He's a mid-3rd round talent, meaning even though right now he's projected to go in the 1st round, you could tell right off the bat. The second I saw that B man coverage as his best skill, I knew he was probably not going to be exactly what we want. So some team is probably going to take this guy in the 1st round and not get a good player. But then we could come down here. Granted, I don't know. This guy might be just as bad, but we can potentially find an early second rounder who's actually one of the best players in the draft. You never quite know. Yeah, B plus press, B man coverage. So right now he is already better than the other player, and as you can see, talent late first rounder. Now he's projected early second rounder. It's right there in the same zone, but this is a guy to keep an eye on. You know, if I get to that second round and I see him there, that's a good value pick to get. So that's where you can find your steals and everything with this new scouting system. I absolutely love it. And now all that's left for us to do is make sure we find the players that we want to add to our Tennessee Titan team, or again, relocation team, whatever we do. B-man coverage, if that's his number one skill, it makes me think he's probably not all that good. I mean, we kind of saw the same thing here, and that's not to say that he's bad, but I'd preferably, for a first-round pick, want to get at least one B-plus skill. B plus zone coverage here. Now, I've been running a lot of zone. My man coverage has been really terrible so far in Madden 16, so we've been running a lot of zone plays. So even though I prefer safeties to have good zone coverage, picking up a guy like Darrell Beck could fit in with my defense. He does have B man coverage too, so he's right there with the other guy that was projected to go first, and then B press. So as you can see, talent mid first rounder. Now, he is projected to go in the first round. So he's pretty much projected where he's supposed to go as it is, but that's still something to keep an eye on. Now, we have 80 scouting points. It's 5 points to unlock the first skill, 10 points to unlock the second, 15 to unlock the third. What I think I might do here is just start scouting. Use the rest of these 80 points scouting maybe their best trait. And then next week when we get some more scouting points to look through, we can go through and pick out the ones that had a good first trait and then start scouting their second points. B plus press. I kind of want to see man or zone. Anyway, we'll move forward right now. Let's just do this. B minus. See, B minus is his first skill, and he's projected in the first round, and it's not even a coverage asset. So right there, you can tell he's probably going to be a bust. 6 feet tall. I like that. He does have the B zone coverage. Again, in the second round, that's not all that bad. When you're looking at a first round pick, I want to see those B pluses though. B plus zone coverage. Now, I'm actually going to go ahead and scout this guy because I'm kind of curious. Well, this means he probably has pretty bad man coverage, which does concern me a little bit. Again, I understand I've been using a lot more zone this season so far, but I do want that to change over time. Let's see if we can find like a potential steal down here in the draft. Things are not looking good. We can draft or scout 5 more. Okay, B plus man coverage. He only has C plus press. So no other talents in the B here, at least for what he is projected right now. I cannot get his third set so far, but regardless, B plus man coverage in the 4th round is definitely going to be a very good pickup for this team. So that's something to think about as we move forward. Last player that we can scout currently, and this is B plus zone coverage. We'll have to check him out next time as we are out of scouting points. But I am absolutely loving this new scouting system. It is going to be a blast trying to find some players to add to this team. Again, I'm going to focus on defense in the first draft. If I find a few offensive players that I feel like are going to be steals, absolutely will get them. And maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I won't even scout offensive players early on. Maybe I'll try to scout like, you know, 3rd or 4th round offensive players, 4th, 5th round, something like that. I don't know. We will see. Moving forward, Andrew Luck, my goodness. Marcus Mariota did go down with an injury last week. I think he's probably okay. It was only a turf toe injury. We should check up on it, though. And as you can see, lucky for us, Mariota will be back for the game against Andrew Luck and the Colts. That's where I was thinking about that from. Let's go ahead and check out. As you see here, the Jaguars are 2-0, leading the division right now. The Colts are 1-1, the Titans were 1-1, and the Texans are 0-2. Interesting there. Let's go ahead and find out what happened around the league in week number 2 here. Whoops, almost hit the wrong button there. All right, the Broncos beat the Chiefs 17-10. The Panthers beat the Texans 20-7. The Steelers put up 42 points on the decimated 49ers defense. The 49ers did score 31, though. The Buccaneers, wow, Jameis Winston, another pretty solid game from him here, throwing up 30 points against the Saints, who only scored 14, so he outdueled Drew Brees in that one. The Lions beating the Vikings 13-10. The Cardinals beating the Bears 25-14. The Bills beating the Patriots. That is a huge upset, 28-25. Things are looking good in Buffalo here right now. High-scoring game here between the Bengals and the Chargers. The Bengals are going to escape with the victory 48-42. We already know about this game. The Falcons beating the Giants 30-24. The Rams beating the Redskins 28-21. Jaguars beating All right, so this is why the Jaguars are 2-0. They beat the Dolphins. Not a huge win for them, but the Dolphins are a pretty good team. They're definitely a team on the rise. 25-13 there. The Ravens beat the Raiders 20-13. The Cowboys beat the Eagles in the big rivalry there, 35-27. The Seahawks 38-17. Aaron Rodgers not doing a whole lot against that Seahawk defense. And then the Colts 36-21 over the Jets. And this is a Colts team we are about to face. Mind you, the Jets have a great defense. They have a lot of really good players on their secondary. It didn't matter. It looks like Andrew Luck just completely tormented that team, and that has me worried. We do need to check out the Colts lineup and the Player of the Week awards. Let's go ahead and check out the Player of the Week awards first. See what we got in Week 2. We know about Week 1. Week 2, Austin Davis. So Nick Foles must be down with an injury here for the Rams. 17 of 29, 321 yards, 3 touchdown passes for him. Darrell Washington, 13 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. Abdullah, 7 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. And then Phillip Rivers, 29 of 43, 360 yards, 5 passing touchdowns. He did fumble the ball while trying to run, or maybe he got sacked on that. I don't know. But still, 5 touchdown game is absolutely phenomenal. So let's go ahead and check out the Colts lineup before we get moving on. And we'll check out their injury report too. This is something people wanted me to check out to make sure, they're not missing anybody before we play them. And we will find out here. They have no injuries. They're doing a good job of staying healthy early in the season. I still cannot believe they lost that first game. This is a Colts team I expect to compete for a Super Bowl. They do have that level talent. Obviously, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Andrew Luck in his 4th year, 94 overall. Matt Hasselbeck, a great veteran backup quarterback to have there. At running back, Frank the Tank Gore, and then Heron is behind him, as well as Vic Ballard. Very good fullback at wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton and Andre Johnson, another huge pickup for this Colt team, coming over from his division rival, the Houston Texans. So a big move there. And this is a very good wide receiver duo for Andrew Luck to work with. They also have Dante Moncrief and Waylon here as well at tight end. Kobe Fleener and Dwayne Allen, 2 great tight ends here for Andrew Luck to work with. Along the offensive line, you're going to see some talent, but there are definitely some holes too. I'm hoping we can put some pressure on Andrew Luck, maybe force him into a few mistakes. That is our one chance of kind of rattling him and getting him off guard. Their defensive line is really nothing to write home about either. We could see a big game from Bobby Sankey if our offensive line can control the line of scrimmage, which we made some signings to ensure that we had that chance. DeQuell Jackson, a great middle linebacker, a player I like a lot. Robert Mathis still making it happen at right outside linebacker now. Vontae Davis, one of the best corners in the NFL and pretty much the heart and soul of this defense right now. They have a few other veterans that are very good, very grounded players, but they don't really have the star power on defense anymore. Vontae Davis does provide that for them, and he's a player that you do not want to challenge because he will make you pay. Again, though, not an outstanding defense, and I'm really hoping Mariota can kind of find a niche with the offense in this next week, and maybe we could pull off an upset. If we could do that and the Jaguars lose, we are right in the division mix right there. But, our defense is going to have to step up big time for any of that to matter. We cannot have another game like we did against the Browns. One thing I do want to fix slider-wise after that last game. Now, Manziel threw like 80% completion. I'm not thrilled with that, but we're going to keep it as it is for now. One thing that just drove me up a wall was the tackling. We were watching multiple possessions where the running backs for the Browns were breaking 2 or 3 tackles on one play. It was ridiculous. I don't mind tackles being broken here and there, but when you average 2 broken tackles per run, it does get a little bit frustrating. We'll check out the news, see if we have any draft stories here, and then we will move forward. I believe we've already seen this. Wisconsin quarterback Cooper Griffin has been by his father's side on the sideline. I think we've already seen that because I don't really need a quarterback. Mariota is our franchise guy. But that is going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please smash that like button. It helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in week number 3 as we have our first division matchup of the season against the Indianapolis Colts. Later.